What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Read Aloud by Coach T. Today I'll be reading Manners Matter Stitch by Disney. Lilo, Nani, and Stitch were enjoying a nice breakfast one day. Stitch stuffed his mouth full of fluffy pancakes. As he chewed, he demanded syrup. Then he slurped down his guava juice and let out a loud brrr. Stitch, that's a lot of poor table manners in the last 10 seconds, Nani said. Manners? Stitch asked around a large bite of pineapple. Now, that's not how we behave in this house, so where are your manners? Brrr. Burped loudly and forgot to say, excuse me. Manners are how we treat each other, Nani explained. Good manners show that we respect and care about the people around us. Stitch shrugged. So what? The rules couldn't be that important, right? Stitch forgot to say please and thank you. You know what, Stitch? You really have some bad, poor manners. I'll tell you this right now. I'm not fooled by those little puppy dog eyes. You know exactly what you did. But then Nani said at the potluck luau on Saturday, all the guests will use their best manners. Maybe you're not ready to attend. I'll teach them, said Lilo. I have an idea that will help. A manners book. Lilo reached for a notebook and started scribbling suggestions. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Perfect timing for your first lesson, Stitch, Lilo declared, welcoming with aloha. First, you smile, then you give a handshake. Here in Hawaii, we sometimes give a shaka-san, too. Lilo ran to open the door. Welcome, David. Please come in, Lilo said with a big smile. She reached out to shake his hand. I'm teaching Stitch super important manners. Ah, got it, David said. Good luck, Stitch. We all need to learn and relearn manners. Stitch felt overwhelmed. Oh no, how could he learn all these important manners by Saturday? By the looks of things, Lilo and Stitch ran into someone that they did not like in the supermarket. It's her. Ugh. Everyone headed to the supermarket. I told the Macadang that we could pick up some ingredients for them too, Nani said. Being helpful is another way to show good manners, Lilo told Stitch. Nani and David pushed the shopping cart around the store. And you know I really don't like you, Lilo, or your ugly dog named Stitch. When they accidentally bumped into other carts, they apologized. Excuse me, so sorry. Lilo saw Myrtle, one of her classmates. When Myrtle spotted Lilo and Stitch, she turned her nose up and walked away in a Before they could react to Myrtle's rudeness, Nani announced, done. We have everything on the list. Stitch rushed to the cash register. He didn't notice that he had cut in front of several other shoppers. Hey! No, Stitch, we have to wait our turn, Lilo said. To be patient. Try taking deep breaths, David said. Stitch breathed deeply and started to relax. The group walked to the Macadang's house. Learning manners can be tricky, Lilo said, but if you practice, it'll get easier. David rang the doorbell and said, hello? It's Nani and David. A voice called back, come in and make yourselves at home. Oh, shucky ducky. Ooh, it's about to go down. Excited by the invitation, Stitch ran inside and jumped on the couch. He helped himself to a bowl of potato chips and turned on the television. Stitch, what are you doing? Lilo asked. Make it home, Stitch replied. That's just a saying, Nani said. It means to sit down and relax, not act like you really live here. Oh, Stitch mumbled as the Macadang entered the living room. Stitch, very sorry, he said. How to make right? Apology accepted, Mr. Madang said. Maybe you could clean up a bit. Stitch zipped around the room, sweeping up crumbs, putting the remote back, and fluffing up the pillows. Nice, said Freddie McDang. Stitch smiled with relief and cleaned up his messes. When they returned home, Lilo said, I'm proud of you, Stitch. You learned a lot of lessons today. The praise made Stitch feel great. Maybe he could get the hang of good manners after all. Over the next few days, Stitch worked hard to learn many kinds of manners. Even their friend Mr. Bubbles noticed Stitch's progress. Stitch remembered not to interrupt while others talked or worked. In the park one day, Mr. Bubbles told Stitch, a good citizen is also honest and responsible, someone who finds peaceful ways to solve problems. Just then, Myrtle and her poodle Cashmere walked by. Myrtle made a face at Lilo. Myrtle made one of those stank look faces that people make sometimes when they really don't like you. As one of Stitch's teachers, you can show him how to handle people you don't get along with, Mr. Bubbles said to Lilo. Lilo stayed quiet, watching Myrtle walk away. That night before the potluck luau, Nani, Lilo, and Stitch prepared hapaya, a traditional coconut pudding. Stitch, are you ready for tomorrow? Nani asked. Stitch nodded, yes, and held up his manners book. Nani smiled. Okay, just remember to treat everyone with respect, understanding, and kindness. At the luau, laughter, music, and the smell of delicious food filled the air. Although they were excited, Lilo and Stitch greeted everyone politely. Then they got in line and waited for their turn to eat. Even though Stitch was very hungry, his stomach growled. Good job being patient, Stitch, Lilo whispered encouragingly. Now this is my type of luau. Aloha, said Mr. Bubbles as he stacked more cookies onto his plate. Once they had filled their plates, Lilo and Stitch sat with Freddie and his family. Here, try our lumpa, Freddie said, offering Stitch a spring roll from his plate. Thanks, Freddie, Stitch said. In return, he offered to share his papaya. Everyone beamed at Stitch's good behavior. Down goes Fraser! Down goes Fraser! Oh no! Just then, Stitch noticed Myrtle and her poodle. Wanting to show his good manners, Stitch approached them with a plate of papaya. On his way there, he stumbled over a tree root, bang, and hit the ground. Up flew the papaya and splat. The dessert landed on Cashmere's head. No, Cashmere. If you could just control that ugly little dog or that ugly little alien, none of this would even happen. So sorry, Stitch said, trying to brush the papaya off of Cashmere. Get away from us, Myrtle shrieked at him. Lilo rushed to defend Stitch. It was an accident. He's the rudest dog I've ever met, Myrtle said. Stitch has really worked hard on his manners, Lilo said. You're the one who's being rude, you big meanie. Stitch remembered all the lessons he had learned. He grabbed a lead and draped it around Cashmere's neck. The poodle loved the flowers. Thanks, Stitch. Stitch handed another lead to Lilo. Treat everyone with respect, he whispered. Myrtle, maybe we can, Lilo started. Get along today, Myrtle finished. Nodding, yes, Lilo placed the lead around Myrtle's neck. Thanks, Stitch, Lilo said. I guess I still have lessons to learn about manners, too. Nani gathered Lilo and Stitch into a hug. I'm proud of you both, she smiled. Stitch smiled. With the support of his ohana, he had learned the most important manner of all. Treat everyone with love in your heart.